I think that a lot of people in general, whether it's investors or just the general public, I think we take mining for granted. If we want some things, we just go to the store and buy them. And even if you look at, your iPhone or your computer, a lot of the things that were used to build those products come from mining. I mean, where do you think copper came from, and aluminum, and gold, silver? I mean, it all comes from mining. So we take it for granted, and we don't really understand the industry. And a lot of us really don't want to understand the industry because, there are other industries that are easier to understand and more predictable. But if we talk about just mining in broad terms, you have a company that extracts, whether it's gold, silver, iron ore, or copper, and it's I wouldn't call mining, definitely I wouldn't call mining a good business when you compare it to some other businesses that have moats and great returns on assets and equities, the businesses that Warren Buffett would describe as good businesses. Mining definitely doesn't fit that category. But what's interesting about mining, and it doesn't matter what commodity we're talking about, it is a business that depletes its resources, right? There's only a finite amount that these companies have in whatever deposit it is. So what this means is that the mining companies have to constantly replenish the resources that they deplete through the normal operations of their businesses. And you might think about, okay, well, how do they replenish those resources? Well, they have to find more through exploration. And if you don't know anything about mining, you might think, oh, okay, so part of the money that they generate, they spend on exploration to find new deposits. And for some of that, it's true. But there's this big, huge industry that specializes in finding new deposits. And that's where the junior mining companies come in. And this is the area where huge amounts of money can be made if you get it right. Because a lot of times the mining companies, they don't necessarily look for the deposits themselves, but they buy out the junior miners that find something. Before we get into a little bit more of a detail about how the junior exploration companies operate, let's just maybe talk about the process, the A to Z of what happens in a production of a particular commodity.